Good morning and welcome to my newest series called Butterfly Time. It's about the middle of April now. It's about time for me to start shooting some before pictures before I start getting my hands dirty for the season. As you can see, I got things coming up. I got some golden Alexander. Got lots of stuff to cut back and rake. I'll end the little tour with where I started. I have some Antenaria plantaginifolia coming here. Plantain leaves pussy toes, which attracts the American lady butterfly. The golden Alexander, by the way, attracts the black swallowtail. I have some anise hyssop coming up, which is a great nectar source. There's some cup plant, which the goldfinches love to bathe in, and they love to eat the flowers and the seeds, and I think they were just made for each other. Over here we have some native St. John's wort coming up. It's all the sticks and everything that have yet to be cut back. Nothing messes with this. This is like officially bunny season right now. They'll eat anything but this. April is also forsythia time. And this is the first year that this one's made any kind of real showing. It's been very sporadic. As you can see down at the base, the rabbits got to it this winter. More I have to cut back. This is my coneflower bed, my echinacea bed. It's a little monarch station. There's some bridal veil spirea that is coming into its own for the season. It got a little nibbled too. Nibbled, huh? Anyway, it is what it is. Ah, yes. My fern leaf peony. It has a crimson red flower, and it grows ever so slowly. There's some more growth coming out there. There's a little catmint peeking up through the leaves there. Some more anise hyssop. Some gaillardia. I don't know if it's still alive or not. It's firm, so I'm going to say yes. Some dianthus. Salvia. Here's an artemisia that I thought it was a large leaf artemisia. Some more early salvia. Oh, hardy. And this is all before shots. There's a lot of weed stuff in here I need to get in here out of too. There's a little bit of wild geranium popping up there. It's a keeper. There's some malvis that looks just like it, but it isn't, and the rabbits know the difference. My anaphylis bed, which needs to be cleaned out. This is another host plant for the American lady butterfly. Pearly everlasting. This is where it's at this time of year. Gets about 2 or 3 feet high. Blooms in the fall. Greenish whitish flowers. Blooms at night. More before shots. This is basically a milkweed and Veronica bed. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's liatris in here. There's this awful Cassia hebecarpa that takes over everything. Here's some Veronica peeking through here. There's some more. I'll help you guys out today, I promise. After this video, some Joe Pye weed. Not up yet. Neither is this ironweed. Muscanthus gigantea. Fits neatly into this corner until it flops. And this is a much eaten indigo bush. Amorpha. I forget the species name. Pollinators love it. The silver spotted skippers use it as a host. And the rabbits use it for kindling in the winter time. Here's my back island featuring the giant yellow Rudbeckia. There's some more Anaphyllus in here. There's a lot of brown-eyed Susan. There's some wild strawberries. A whole lot of violets. There's a violet. There's a wild strawberry. That looks like brown-eyed Susan coming up already. Yep. This is a close-up of the Rudbeckia. Here's a little phlox on the northwestern end of the house. Here's a 9-bark coming into bud, coming into leaf. They bloom shortly right after the bridal veil. Here's the northwestern end of the garden, up against the neighbor's fence. Another before shot. A lot of Muscanthus. There's some milkweed in here. There's some and more Antonaria pussy toes, neglecta in here, which is prairie pussy toes. Some autumn surprise sedum. You can barely see them. I know, I probably got a bunch of dislikes for that one. And what do I got here? Okay, it's a weed. And around the corner, it's the official face of the complex. I live in a 4-unit condo. I need to address this vitamin deficiency in the ewes. But here's where I've been so far this year. I cleared out, cut back, and I found some valerian root, which is coming up in spots. There's a nice little spot of it. Actually, that's wild onion. This is valerian root right here. There's more of it over there. There's a little iris, bearded iris. Another wild onion. And this is the official front of the building. I got a small semi-shade garden, more valerian root that just comes up everywhere. The smaller butterflies love the flowers of these. The only downfall is when it rains, down they fall. Here's some more plantain leaves pussy toes. Antenaria plantaginifolia. I love saying that. Doesn't even hurt anymore. Okay, and there's some dwarf asters coming up. Here's a nice big violet I dug up in the middle of the yard, and I thought that would look good. A couple of things like an anemone. Here's another anemone. Here's a roo anemone. My Bellwort is coming up, also known as Mary Bells. I have some variegated Solomon seal popping up there. My Mertensias are showing nice little buds on them. A bloodroot. My little bloodroot is up. One of my little ephemerals. One of my newbies, as of yesterday, a native Oxalis purpurea. It's a native shamrock. It's an ephemeral. And over here, let me just pan back on these two big, these great big lilac trees here. About 10 years ago, and they're root suckers as well. About 10 years ago, I answered a questionnaire for the Arbor Day Society, and they sent me 10 baby spruce, blue spruce, and 2 slips that were about maybe 8 inches long. 10 years later, after fighting bunnies and everything else, there they are. And else, and other things in this garden. Here's a little legume of some kind that blooms every year after it gets mowed a couple of times by the bunnies. Here's a pink Meadow Roo. There's a couple of hyacinths that I swear get smaller every year. Ditto with this little pink guy. There's a very badly eaten summer sweet, clethra. Well, this is all, there's a weed in here that's called Cypress Spurge. And it's just kind of taken over. Take an act of God to get it out of here now. But I also have some nice alliums. And on this bed, it's mostly goldenrod and monarda with a couple more Globe Masters. These are Allium Globe Master. Oh, and there's the bud in the middle. Get that leaf out of there. Yeah, see the bud? Sweet. Luminators popping up everywhere. And also the ever popular, ever present violets. And 5 more yews. They look in better shape. Here's my surprise lily. Comes up this time of year and then it dies back in mid to late June, and then it pops back up again in August or September. Only the flower, no foliage. So they call it a surprise lily. It just pops up out of the blue. I have some wild garlic here, bloom in the late summer. I have another a cranesbill geranium, wild geranium, creeping Charlie. I have a bluebeard. Ah, my English daisy. Welcome back. I can see where you've been nibbled again. Here's a nice fine agastache. Here's another one of those Meadow Roos. I got nettles for the Red Admiral butterflies. Now we're coming up on my rain garden, which is mostly nettles this time of year. There's also some white turtle head in here that comes up. Here's some, here's a little bit of Culver's root coming up. Some more of those nettles. Golden Alexander, which brings the black swallowtail. This is like the second year. This will probably support a few caterpillars this year. There's a nice big frond. Here is, I believe, to be a species phlox. Gets about 4 feet tall. Has small flowers on a very large, densely packed head. Attracts everything. There's some variegated grass back there. A Hoya popping up. Not much going on this year, this time of year. Just peeks and pokes. Some hollyhocks coming up. Some, it starts with an E. It's called sea hollies, but I really can't stand that name because it's neither. Here's some more plantain leaf pussy toes. Dandelions too. When you start seeing dandelions, that's when you start seeing the first butterflies. They come for the pussy toes and stay for the dandelions. Or is it the other way around? Ah, here we go. Echinops, the globe thistle. Supports the American lady and the painted lady. The caterpillars. Caterpillars, or rabbits got my tulip. There's some field pussy toes. Antenaria neglecta. This is the other species I grow. Very hardy, grows low to the ground. Blooms about this time of the year. Here's my Anopheles bed. Pearly everlasting, Anopheles margaritacea. The other food source for the American lady butterfly, along with Artemisia and Antenaria. And finally over here, oh yeah, I gotta focus on this big piece of driftwood right here. This, I believe, houses one or more little critters, which is a good thing. I like critters in the garden. And finally, Around and behind this driftwood is some Stokesia, which also harbors the caterpillars of mainly the painted lady. So between this, the globe thistle, and the hollyhocks, I have painted ladies every year. Here's a cultivated fleabane, with large pink flowers. Here's some catmint. And here's some artemisia, or what's left of it from last year. This is what it looks like this time of the year. Small, silver, fuzzy. Another host plant for the American lady. Or anything the American lady eats, the painted lady will eat too. But not always the other way around. Although in this garden I've seen anything happen. So, I got one more place to show you. This is a work in progress. It used to be a tree that was felled. Actually, it fell and then it was removed. And an old maple tree that fell over and had to be removed, and there's a stump under there. So I'm just planting like bulbs, and so far only a few alliums, little alliums, and some daffodils have come up. But I can't dig much deeper. I've tried planting some native milkweed from seedling in here, and I swear the rabbits eat everything. So this is a project for the day. It's cleaning this out, and my pussy willow is coming out for the season. It's kind of schmutzeled because of all the rain, but you should have seen the bees. It's about 12 feet high. And over here, so what I lovingly refer to as the ditch. I have my own elderberries, which just volunteered here. My brother gave me these 3 junipers, which look ridiculous now for obvious reasons. And this one, brace yourselves, this one looks really sad. So this is the rest of, this is where I just let it grow wild. I try to pull out anything that's invasive, but all kinds of things grow in there. I throw in old seeds and they come up, and here's my little volunteer hackberry tree. Very important host plant for the emperor butterflies, the American snout, and a few others. And finally, one of my starring attractions of the front yard is this black cherry tree, this wild black cherry tree, Prunus serratina. And it's only about 6 or so years old. Started off as a 3-foot little sprig, and now it's as tall as the damn building. So it really shot up. It's hosted many generations of eastern tiger swallowtails and some red-spotted purples. Here's a little, here's a high bush Cranberry Viburnum. My good friend Terrence and I went out and I dug it up when it was a foot tall. And now look at it. And that was about 5 years ago. And here's my Redbud, which my friend Terrence gave me about 10 years ago. It's had a hard life. It was like 2 foot high when I got it, just a sprig. And then it got run over by a lawnmower. And it just came right back and said, the heck with it. I'm living. There's a chipmunk. Ugh. And it came up as a multiple, and it's got style and grace, and it blooms every year now. It started blooming about 3 years ago in earnest, and it's been beautiful every year ever since. Well, that about wraps it up for this first edition of Butterfly Time. Here's a nice little bicolor lilac that I dug up when it was actually it was given to me when it was like about 8 inches. It's as tall as I am now. I'm 6'2", and so this is every bit of 6 foot from 8 inches. It was about 2 years ago. And this actually is a nectar source by trade, but it hosted one of the weirdest caterpillars from a moth that I've ever seen. I don't remember the name of it, but it was just very strange. I'll have to get back with that, but if I ever see another one of those, I'm going to try to see if I can't cultivate it and see what it turns into. Well, that about wraps it up. See you again next time with the first butterfly. Until then, everyone stay safe, stay well, and remember, keep smiling, because better days are ahead.